like we just saw.
Never! And I love it that we did it against the Saints. Woo! It is absolutely insanity down here on the field.
The Minneapolis Miracle, it's Vikings and these guys, the Philadelphia Eagles, in the NFC title game. But many fans, not only now but through the annals of time, will be looking back at that and obviously never forgetting it. What a great moment. Wobby, Vikings.com, Ron Johnson, Vikings Game Day Live on Fox 9, and I'm Paul Allen. That Minneapolis Miracle, where does it rank in the annals of football history?
Well, of course, I've heard years and years of the Immaculate Reception with my dad and the Steelers. He wasn't there yet in 1972, but that's one. I'd say Music City Miracle as well. And then I think they're in the top three. This is going to put them in the NFC Championship game, possibly send them to the Super Bowl. So I think that is one of the top three moments in NFL history.
Down with that, Wobby.
This chapter is not completely written. There's more story to go. So I think what happens over the next couple of weeks will help maybe define where it lies in NFL history. You've got Dwight Clark and the catch that we should mention as well. And really I think that if the Vikings continue, this has a chance to be up there in the top 5 of all time.
And also, of course, when the New York Giants beat the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl, the David Tyree helmet catch. On a play, Eli Manning was nearly smashed like 3 times. Just unbelievable plays in an unbelievable game. Can we possibly define a strength? What would the Eagles' strength be?
I'm going to say the RPO. With Carson Wentz, they didn't do it as much, maybe once or twice a game. With Nick Foles in the second half of the Falcons game, it was like every other play they were doing the RPO. One, because he's familiar doing that with Chip Kelly.
Run-pass option, by the way.
And that's why the run-pass option for him is going to be a strength, because a guy like Trey Waynes being the top cover corner, the top tackling corner, he has to cover and support the run. So that's going to put him in a bind trying to figure out is it a run or a pass.
Yeah, but with that run pass option, though, I don't know how much attention you really need to put on Nick Foles.
Is all you think about offense?
Right. Yeah, are you a fantasy football guy too? Let me guess.
I mean, we're talking about the #1 rushing defense in the NFL with these guys, and the #1 defense in yards, points, and third downs with the Vikings. Okay, all you think about is offense. I think it's the Eagles' defensive line. And I think they're deep with 4 defensive ends who can come in there and rotate, and they keep them fresh all game long. They got one of the best 3 techniques in the NFL. They have Eric Kendrick's brother, Michael Kendricks. They have Malcolm Jenkins on the back end, but I think it's the front of this defense, the defensive line.
Graham is good, I'll give you that.
That is their strength.
The Vikings will be playing at Lincoln Financial Field, so unlike U.S. Bank Stadium, the crowd will not be on our side in this game. So what are some of the elite ways to combat this loud crowd?
I think you got to run the ball, and we tried to do that against the Saints. The trouble is, I think the Eagles have a more physical front than the Saints.
Same.
We still had trouble against the Saints, so we're going to have to figure out a way to do it. Now, it will be the second game for Remmers and Reef together on the left side. So maybe they're going to gain a little synergy there, make something happen, but somehow we got to find a way to run for 4 or 5 yards a clip.
I'm going to say score early, take the crowd out the game. One, if you look at the Falcons-Eagles game, that crowd was almost about to boo at one point because they just felt like the Eagles were going to do what everybody thought and lose to the Falcons. So if you can put that doubt back in their mind again early with the Vikings. And the Vikings, honestly, people don't want to believe this, they've learned from the Saints game being up and then not coming out strong in the second half. So I think that was a blessing in disguise. I mean, it definitely was down to the wire, definitely a few heart attacks out there. That's in the past, and they can figure out how to not come out flat in the second half.
2017 Minnesota Vikings, team of destiny or a team defying the odds?
Destiny. You look at, there's never been a team to make it to the Super Bowl in their own stadium. It's working out to their advantage. You look at the injuries of Dalvin Cook. You look at the Teddy Bridgewater story. You look at the Sam Bradford getting hurt. Case Keenum, they went back into the history books with him and John Gruden when he sat down before he got drafted, and he said it's going to take one coach to give you a chance, and you're going to have your shot in the NFL, and here it is.
You saw that on Twitter, right?
I saw it. Actually, I Googled it.
Now, what's your Twitter handle?
3 Ron Johnson on Twitter.
You're on Twitter?
I'm on Twitter.
Yeah, first I heard of it. It's team of destiny. I mean, I'll tell you another first. It's the first walk-off fourth-quarter touchdown in NFL postseason history. Also, another thing I like about this matchup, the tentacles of Philadelphia and Minnesota, the Bradford trade, the Vikings getting Shermer from Philadelphia. Essentially, the Vikings' 2016 season began to die at Lincoln Financial Field. It was the first loss of the season. This is a very compelling matchup, storyline-wise as well.
Can't wait for the NFC title game. Likewise for Wobby from Vikings.com and Ron Johnson from Vikings Game Day Live on Fox 9, and I'm Paul Allen. For all of us here at Vikings Game Plan and with the Vikings Entertainment Network, Thanks for watching.